Hello guys, what's up? My name is Hollow, and today we are continuing Gallery Sweep. Gallery Sweep is essentially a cast series where I go through my Sims 4 gallery and edit my Sims. So a lot of my Sims are just like randos, a bunch of them are just like from little challenges and stuff, and then I have some Sims that I made intending to use but never did. So I just sort of want to go through and clean it up, sort of Marie Kondo this whole group here because I've got a lot going, and we're just starting from the bottom. We already did Eden, so we're gonna go ahead in with Mikey next. So Mikey is super cute and playful. She plays the loner, but is definitely a social butterfly. And we're gonna go ahead and drop her into cast and see what she looks like, see what all we're missing. All right, some items got removed, obviously. So we're missing her hat, all her skin details. I don't know if this is a shirt or a full body. I really don't know. Either way, we lost something here. It looks like I only gave her one outfit. I'll probably give her a couple more just because I like doing that. I like giving my Sims 2 to 3 outfits on each category just so that they have a little bit more variety. But it's cool. Like some of her outfits we've kept. Like that's nice. Because some of these I'll probably keep because I really did like Mikey the way I originally made her. So we'll probably stick with that as she is. But for the rest of it, let's go ahead and get into it and clean her up a little bit. So with Mikey, I really liked the way her face looked. I didn't feel like there was that much that needed to be edited. I just changed her nose a little bit to make it a little less pointy because she does have like a very round looking nose from the front, but from the side it looked very pointy. So I tried to fix that up a little bit to give her a little bit more of a rounded look. But other than that, I didn't really feel the need to change anything on her face. I still really liked her facial structure. I did a little tweaking on her body just to like thicken her up just a little bit because I made her like I still wanted her to be very thin and petite, but she was just too thin, you know, she was too tiny, so I had to widen her up a little bit just to make her look a little bit more natural. But otherwise, I didn't really do that much to her. It was just like changing her skin details and stuff. I really like this new skin detail a lot. It's I can't remember who made it. I think it's Serenity CC. I think. I can't remember exactly, so don't quote me on that. But they're actually one of my favorite CC creators that I just found out about a couple months ago. But I can't remember their name properly for the life of me. But I really love their stuff. It has such like a natural look to it, and I really like it. But it's like it's natural, but it's not too like high definition, so it doesn't look like too realistic for me. So I really like it. With Mikey, it was a little difficult to really figure out what direction I wanted to go with her because I didn't know if I wanted to go like fully dark with her or have like cutesy dark, and I sort of wanted to get a balance of something in between. And so it was kind of hard. Like you see me putting on all those blushes because I was like, oh, what if she had big like uwu cheeks, you know, like super bright and like pinky and stuff. And then like as soon as I tried them all on, I was like, no, no, I don't like this. So I had to change that a little bit. But I like the one I ended up going with. It just added a little bit more color to her whole face all around. I really enjoyed that bit. And I tried to, like, as I was saying earlier, I really like some of the outfits that I gave her originally when I first made her. So the ones that, like, stayed, like, I still have the CC for them. For the most part, I tried to keep them, or at least I tried to keep parts of them, because I did really like that initial style for her. But I also, in her new outfits, I gave her a little bit more of like the witchy vibe, like not so much that she practices Wicca or anything like that, but you know, just like the like in quotations witchy vibe, where it's like they wear the wide brim hats and they wear all black and they wear like the sheer shirts and everything, like stuff like that, where I try to do a little bit more like that. I don't know if I really succeeded, but I still like it. I think she looks pretty good. And I'm really liking the way she's turning out. And you'll see at the end of the video, I actually decided to give her a little cat friend because of the shirt, like purely because of this shirt, which is the more people I meet, the more I like my cat. And I love it so much. That shirt is by Helososeira. I don't know if that's exactly how you say it, but you can find them on the Sims resource. I use a lot of their CC. So they do a lot of like cool, like I guess it's more alternative, like gothy sort of stuff. So I like their stuff, and they worked really well for Mikey here. And I don't really know what else to say. I don't have much to say on Mikey. For this part, I was just sort of going through and setting all of her hairs. Usually I would cut this bit out, but I thought that it would be kind of cool to see it because I did actually end up changing several of her hairs. Like on on the most recent Sims that I've made in cast, I haven't really done that. So like Kari didn't have, none of the Marks had it, none of Eden didn't have it, so you didn't get to see that with any of them. So I decided I'd show it with Mikey, just so like people got an idea of what I was doing, because like I do like to do that. I like to go in and give them different hairstyles for different outfits. And like if I gave her more outfits, so if I did like 4 or 5 everyday outfits, I would try to give her different hairs throughout those. But since I just did 2, I just stuck with the one, because I couldn't be bothered. It was hard to try to find something that was the right length. That was my struggle when I was trying to do her formal wear. I was trying to find something that was like a pulled back version of her hair, but all of them were too short. So I like settled for the one with the hairband. And another tip for that is, if you're going to do different hairstyles, a good thing is to try to stay with the same creator, so that way you have the same colors in your hairs and like the same textures. So that's what I was trying to do. So that's why it was very limited, because I was trying to stay in the realm of that creator, who was I think it's Anto, and it was like I wanted to use a specific Anto hair, but like Anto has like a new generation of hair that they're making. Like they changed their hairstyle a little while ago, so all their new hairs are different from their old hairs. So I could only go through the new hairs, because that's where I pulled her pigtails from. So it was a little difficult trying to pull that, but otherwise it wasn't too bad. But I didn't really want to go through and try to figure out every single hairstyle, so I only did a couple. But I did really enjoy it, and I thought I think it's a fun way to liven up your Sims and give them a little more personality. So I like to do that every once in a while. But yeah, aside from that, I don't really know what else to say about Mikey. She's just sort of, like, I never really developed her personality that much. Like, I know she's sort of playful and like she's childish and she just sort of hangs around, and like I feel like she's a person who she tries to like put herself off as being this like cool kid that you can't talk to. She's like that person who's like so intimidating, you don't want to talk to her, but she's like the biggest softie in the world. That's sort of the idea I have for Mikey, but I don't really know exactly how I would play her. I've never, again, like, she's one of those Sims that I've made that I've never played with. Like, I haven't even put her in a world for like a moment. I've never played with Mikey before, so I have no idea what sort of actual personality I would build up for her. I really haven't gone beyond her traits, and the most I've done for developing her is what I did today, which was giving her a cat. So I don't really have a good idea of who Mikey is yet. Hopefully I'll get to use her though, because I do think she's really cute and I love her style and like the way she ended up developing. So I'd really like to use her at some point. I just don't really know where or when that's going to happen. So if you guys have any ideas of like a storyline for Mikey, or like you see one of my stories that I'm already creating and you're like, hey, this would be perfect to put Mikey in, like, I'd really love that, and I'd really appreciate that, because I think she's so cute and I don't want to get rid of her. Like, I can't bring myself to delete her, so I really want to use her at some point. But the whole point of gallery sweeps is to try to get rid of Sims that I don't want. So like, I need a reason to keep Mikey, basically, because I love her so much. She's one of the first Sims I made, so I do have a little bit of attachment to her. Like, her and Eden are 2 of my earliest Sims, so I feel really attached to them. So I really don't want to get rid of her, but I just don't know what I would do with her, because again, I've never played with her, so I've never really thought through anything else. Like with Eden, I'd played with her a little bit, so I was like, oh, she does yoga and she reads and da 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 da, and I had like an idea of Eden. But with Mikey, I've literally never played with her, and so I'm like, I don't really know how I want to go about her character and like developing her. So she's a little bit of a mystery to me. But I think she'll be a great character eventually. When I someday find something to do with her, she'll be great. So again, if you guys have any ideas, let me know, because I could definitely use them. Like, I can go so far as to create the character, but I can't always find the way to put the character into a story. That's my difficulty. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say about Mikey. We still got a little ways to go in her clothes and stuff, and like updating her stuff. But yeah, I don't really know what to say. Oh, I'll just tell you a funny story. So I had to get a drug test for work, and basically it was like, I'm starting a new job, and I had to go get a drug test to make sure that I could start the job, because like my job has a zero drug tolerance policy. And I went to get my drug test, and this was like a week ago. And yesterday, the drug place called me, and they were like, "Hey, you had a positive come up on your drug test." And I was like, "What? That can't happen. Like, I'm a goody two shoes. That stuff doesn't happen to me. Like, there's no way." But they were like, "Yeah, you came up positive for opioids." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I started a new pain medication, so maybe it's from that." And then they were like, "Okay, just bring in all your prescriptions so we can check them." And I brought in all my prescriptions, and I was showing them to them, and like they looked through them all, and they took copies of all of them so that they could show the doctor. And they were like, "Okay, so just head home and wait for us to call you." And I waited the whole day, never called. I tried to call them, but they were already closed. And I was like, "Oh, great. You close at 4 o'clock. That's so convenient." And so I didn't hear anything from them yesterday. I called them this morning to see if they had gotten it done yet. And they were like, "No, they're still waiting on the doctor's desk. Like, we'll call you when it's ready." And so then the doctor calls me like 2 hours later, and he's like, "Yeah, so it's not your medication. Your medication definitely isn't an opioid." And he's like, "Have you eaten anything with poppy seeds lately?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I ate like lemon poppy seed muffins last week." And he was like, "That's probably what did it." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, lemons have like a small like poppy seed has a small amount of morphine in it, so it can push your drug test over if you have enough of it." And I was like, 2 muffins is enough to push my drug test over? Are you serious? But yeah, so evidently that was a thing. That's a thing that happens. So if you're getting a drug test, make sure you don't eat poppy seeds before it, because you might get flagged. So that's a funny thing that happened to me this week. I thought I was about to lose my job because of poppy seeds, but it should be fine. They went in, they had me come in, and like they checked my arms to make sure I didn't have like any track marks or anything, and then they were like, "Yeah, you're fine. We'll go ahead and submit the thing and say that you're fine and you're clear and all that." But I just think it's really funny because I love lemon poppy seed muffins, but I haven't had them in like 3 or 4 years. And then I just realized that they had them at my most recent job, because at my most recent job, I was working in a bakery, and like I walked out to the cafe one day and I saw that we had lemon poppy seed muffins, and I was like, "Oh my God, I haven't had a lemon poppy seed muffin in years." And of course, the time that I eat the lemon poppy seed muffin is like the day before my drug test, and so I come up positive for opioids on my drug test. It's just great. I love it. It's so beautiful. But yeah, that was a funny thing that happened to me this week, and it was kind of stressful because I've been waiting all week, because like I was supposed to start my new job the beginning of this week, but my drug test didn't come in until yesterday, and they didn't clear me until today. So hopefully they sent that over to my job before the day was out. But yeah, now I have to wait till next week to start my job, which is kind of sucks. So a week without pay is not fun, but it's whatever. But that was the funny thing that happened to me this week. So if you have any funny stories or any like weird tips that you want to tell somebody, why not drop it in the comments, and maybe we can all learn from each other, and hopefully none of us get flagged on drug screens for eating poppy seeds, because that's a little ridiculous. But yeah, that's a fun thing. And we're coming sort of to the end of the time lapse now, thankfully, because I really don't know what else to say. But we're coming towards the end of the time lapse, and I'm gonna sort of like slow down, and we're gonna look at all of Eden's individual outfits. And I don't know if you just heard that, but that was my cat crying. His name is Jackson. He's really cute. Let me see if he'll come over. Jackson, come here. Come here. No? Okay, he's not going to. I'm sorry. I was gonna see if I could get him to purr into the microphone, because when he purrs really loud. But yeah, anyways, we can sort of see Eden's different outfits here, and we're doing sort of a slow go through just so you can get an idea of how each outfit ended up in the end, because I know sometimes it can get a little janky. It can get a little hard to see it in the time lapse. I really don't know if you can hear that. My cat was like scratching his cardboard posts. Like, he hasn't bothered me all day, but as soon as I start recording, he's got to make noise. Great. And here's the cat that I made for Mikey. This is little Caillou. Yes, it is inspired by Caillou. So anyways, have a good day, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you later. Bye.